Hi everybody, this is Suzanne, and I am back with my November 2024 sales update video. Just a reminder, the objective of these sales update videos are to show you that I am a real seller, just like you, treasure hunting, listing, shipping, and I'm giving you the follow through on sold items, the big kahunas and the duds. I will show you items that sold, the numbers I track, and items I found and listed since the last sales update video. And that's why I really don't do haul videos, because I feel like if you're shopping and not listing, that's not a good thing. So I'm going to show you items that I purchased and are listed. Okay, and yes, this month was a record breaker. I'm going to show you my numbers provided by eBay. If you don't know where to find yours, they're under the Performance tab, and under there you'll see Sales. And you can set the time frame. So I have it set for the month of November, but there's a drop down there, and you can put whatever time frame in you want. If you want to compare 90-day history or your current month or whatever it is, you can change that. And then you just click Generate Report. So here we have my total sales. Now, disclaimer, the way eBay tracks this, that number includes the sale price, shipping, and any taxes or government fees. Also, returns and canceled transactions are reflected, meaning they are subtracted out. So this isn't just the sale price of the item, it also includes shipping and taxes. But what I'm looking at here is that big old number of 143.9% increase over the previous month. And I feel like that's huge. That's a huge increase. You can also look at the quantity sold, which to me is not as important as this number here. But if you want to track that, that's the total quantity of your items sold during that selected time period. And for me, it was up 150%. So what did I do differently? I listed more items. I made a commitment to list 10 new items a day, meaning purchased items that had never been listed, and also refresh 10 listings a day for the entire month of November. And I only missed a couple of days on those numbers. So I did have some help from my virtual assistant team. I had about 30 listings done just to give me kind of a head start. And the rest was all on me. So I sold 90 items during that time frame. So let's take a look at what they were. No, we're not going to look at all 90. I'm going to give you my top 20. So I mentioned this in a previous video. I bought this lot of Chanel empty boxes and perfume bottles. And I won this on an online auction for $3. Now, there was a shipping fee to get them to me, but it was pretty light since everything was empty. So in this lot were these bottles here that were in the original boxes, and this lot doesn't even show everything. There was more than what was in the photo. So this box sold. I think I mentioned that last month. This is a shopping bag that sold. I put those two together, and those sold for $30. And then inside the box was a dust bag, which I sold, I think, for about $20. So this was a great find on an online auction. And so that leads us to the first sale. This empty Coco Chanel. It wasn't number 5. It was a scent called Coco. My total cost for this, after adding up the cost of the auction plus the shipping, was $4. It sold for $24.97. full price. My profit was $19.63, and I just sold the last one of these bottles. There were 4 in there, and all of them sold for between $20 and $25. So that was a great experiment that turned out well. Okay, here's a belt buckle, another item I love selling because they're small, easy to ship, don't expire, don't take up much room, and they can be very unique and interesting. So this one says Wyoming, where life's worth living. I paid $5.86 for this. Took an offer of $30. Profit was $21.42. Okay, here's a plush item. This is a vintage Barney. He does not sing or talk or anything, nothing electrical or mechanical inside of him. His feet were like a beanbag texture, and he's wearing pajamas, which is kind of unusual. I see all kinds of Barney plush, but I'd never seen one like this. So looked it up. I paid $2.48 for it, and it sold on for full price, $29.97, no offer. Profit was $23.84, and it sold within a couple of weeks. Now here's a fun sale. I bought these vintage troll dolls as part of an online auction, and they weren't super fun to work with because they were so old. Some of them dated back to the 50s. And so, like, their hair was disintegrating. You got to be real careful. Like, don't touch the hair because it will just fall out if you touch it. And so, there was one valuable one in here, which is going to be a next month's sales update because that was a huge sale. So, I separated that one out and then did these as a lot on auction because I was kind of ready for these creepy little guys to find a new home. Either you love trolls or they creep you out. So the cost of these was $19.88, which the shipping got me on that because I bought it on an online auction. So it was mixed in with a bunch of other things that were kind of heavy. So I just divide the total cost out over the number of listings I create. But I put them on auction and they sold for $46.55, making my profit $23.97. So I still came out ahead on that and flipped that really quickly. I did a 5-day auction. Okay, here is a Henry Margu wig. And my daughter was looking at my listings. She's like, this looks like a man's wig, like a rock star from the 80s. And I'm like, well, maybe if they had short hair, but the 80s was the decade of big hair. But anyway, I got a kick out of that. So, short layered style. I paid $2.63 for this, took an offer of $30 in about a week. Profit was $24.13. Here's a fun Christmas item. Well, I guess it could be year round, but it's very Christmas colors. So it's a Lands nightgown, Lands of Salzburg, size large. I paid $3.18 for this. I listed it, and within 15 minutes, I got an offer of $29. So I took it because I'm all about turn and burn now. And my profit was $24.97. I just feel like, based on my 20 plus year history of selling on eBay, this type of item, red sweaters, red jackets, sell better around Christmas time. That's just my personal experience. Okay, here is another belt buckle. This one says Montana, Big Sky Country. It was $5.86 and it sold for full asking price of $34.97, making my profit $25.69. Here's another quick seller. Haha, that's a pun, play on words there, because the brand is Jack Be Quick. I found this at a thrift store for $3.18. I listed it and it sold the next morning for full asking price of $29.97. And I put in the keywords holiday and New Year's Eve because this looks perfect for that with the black and the gold. So profit on this was $26.24. Okay, here is a Gucci tie with bowling pins. This one wins the award for the item I'd had the longest that's sold in November. I bought this in December of 2022 when I went up to Charlotte to visit my sister and had to hit a Goodwill. So I paid $2.12 for this, took an offer of $32.01. Profit was $26.70. Here we have a vintage nightgown, Lily of France. I paid $0 for this. Stephanie Croquez was nice enough to send me a box of goodies like this, which I found out later. She's like, I don't like listing clothing, so that's okay. I'll take it. I sold it for $30 on offer, and my profit was $27.32. Here is a vintage Princess rotary phone. I've always wanted to find one of these, and I did. I paid $9.50 for it at an estate sale, and it sold for $40. I thought I might get more for it, but the dial actually, you could dial it over, but it wouldn't spin back to the original position. So the dial was actually broken. You had to manually put it back, and it was a little dirty. So I was happy with $40 because that gave me $30.08 profit. And here is a cookbook donated to my cause by the generous Suzanne Keene. Thank you very much. This is Recipes of the Philippines. So my cost was $0. It sold for $34. Profit was $30.55. Here is an Ibex Woolies base layer top. My cost was $0. It sold for full asking of $54.97. Profit was $49.01. This is a Waterford Christmas ornament, Santa Blue Moon. This was a limited edition, so those are always going to become more valuable as time goes on. I paid $6.77 for this at an estate sale. Sold for $69.97, and there was only one other one out on the internet, so I priced mine a little bit below theirs. Profit was $55.29. Here's a fun find, vintage Eden plush primary color bear. I paid $2.48 for this. I got this the same time I got the Barney in the pajamas. So two good picks on that trip. I took an offer of $70. Profit was $59.64. Here's a vintage 80s Izod tennis sweater. I picked this up at a St. Vinny's in Missouri over the summer. Paid $5.55. Took an offer of $80, making my profit $64.26. Here is a Scotavest RFID vest. Thank you, Lynn Merritt, for sending this to me in your box of goodies. So my cost was $0. I priced it at $74.95. It sold for full asking, making my profit $69.75. Here is a fun vintage crewel woodland forest. You could see the chipmunk. And at first I thought it was a squirrel and all this right here was his tail, but those are turkey tail mushrooms. And mushrooms are a popular theme right now. So this was donated to my cause by Renee Orr. Thank you very much, my sweet friend. So I paid $0 and I got it listed. Took an offer of $90 in a couple of weeks, making my profit $83.83. And here's another pretty vintage crewel that Renee gave to me. It's completed and framed. My cost was $0, and it sold for $110, making my profit $101. So let's look at some numbers. Definitely trending up. I sold 90 items in November. And yes, I was on a listing frenzy. I only sold 31 items in October, so I tripled the number of items I sold. I currently have 442 items in my store compared to at the end of October I had 377. So definitely building my inventory back up. And thank you to everyone in the eBay community that helped me do that. I really appreciate you. My inventory cost in November was $274.79. That is for the items that sold. My inventory cost in October was $162.60. Profit per item in November was $19.22, pretty close to the profit per item in October of $21.59. I only had 3 returns, and 2 of them were because the item didn't fit, so the buyer pays return shipping. And I hear a lot of new sellers saying, well, I'm reading all this stuff about returns and I don't want to get returns. Well, that's just part of life. That's just part of this business. You just get it back if it's sellable and sell it again. Now, that third return was a perfume bottle, and the buyer messaged me at the moment she opened it and said, this bottle's empty. There's nothing in it. And so I went back and forth with her on messaging and said, yes, the title says it's empty. The listing description says it's empty. We showed pictures of it empty. How could we have made this more clear? Help me understand why you thought there would be perfume in it. And so she just said, I don't want an empty bottle. I wanted perfume. And she was brand new on eBay and did not communicate well at all. I finally referred her to eBay for help because I said, well, if you don't like it, return it. That's fine. She didn't know how to print a label. I don't even know how she knew how to be on a computer. But anyway, it never got sent back. So that one didn't matter. It closed because the time was up and she never sent it back. So that happens on a lot of returns also. You may have a request for a return or an open return and they just never send it back. So it just defaults to the seller and it closes and there's, no defect, nothing there. So that all worked out. Okay, I listed 162 items that were not there before. And I refreshed 163 listings. So I set a challenge for myself and I completed it and listed over 300 items. So, meaning refreshing the old listings, making them look new again. So, yay! I completed my mission of getting my store built back up. Okay, here are a few items that I have purchased and listed. Some of the items have already sold, so you'll see those in next month's sales update. So, a little teaser for you there. And you can follow my store, Atlanta Golf Shop, if you want to check in and see what I'm up to. Just click that heart by the saved seller, and the store will go into your saved sellers under my eBay. And I encourage you to follow other sellers that you admire or you're interested in what they sell or you just want to see what they're up to. That's why this feature is there. So you can build community and you can watch what other people are doing. Okay, I got this Naken wooden silverware chest at Goodwill for $3.48. And it has this anti-tarnish material on the inside. So it's okay if the outside scratched up a little bit. That can be fixed with furniture polish or maybe the buyer doesn't even care. So another feature of this listing was the nameplate here is blank. So they could have their own name engraved on it. I have this priced at $59.97. Okay, here's a surprising one. Le Creuset butter dish. This was $3. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's a good brand. I'm going to pick that up. Small and easy to ship. It's not like a giant casserole dish or anything. So when I was doing my research, I learned that this line, cerise, which is cherry, is discontinued. And this is the exact same butter dish on replacements for $119. And there's only one left in stock. Now, I really don't believe that only one left in stock when I see it on Amazon or anywhere, that there would be multiples of an item, because I feel like that's just a marketing thing. Like, oh, let's make it seem so urgent. There's only one left. You don't know if that's true or not. So I don't pay a whole lot of attention to that. Now, if it said out of stock, yes, that's important. But I feel like only one left in stock is just to create a sense of urgency for the buyer. So, anyway, I have mine listed at half of that. So, we'll see where that goes. But who knew a plain red butter dish could be so valuable? I thought, well, maybe 20 bucks or so. So, anyway, that's where it pays to do your research, not just on eBay, but on Google as well. Put this in Google Images and see what comes up, because you might see it on other sites for a lot more or learn more about the item. This is a Barefoot Dreams cozy chic knit robe, and it really just looks like shag carpeting from the 70s. But this is a high dollar brand. This was in my 2023 BOLO book, the blankets. So those are worth money, but they also make sweaters, jackets, robes, cardigans. So this is what I found for $3.48 at a thrift store. I have it priced right at $50. And I'm wearing it right now. It fits, and it's cold in here today, so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to wear my inventory. It belongs to me till somebody pays for it. So there you go. Okay, American Girl Rudolph the Reindeer Robe, girl size extra, extra small. Now, these originally came with the doll clothing with it, but I found just the robe for the little girl. So I paid $3.48 for this, and I have it priced at $34.97. And in the description, it says just the robe for the little girl. The doll robe is not included. So it was a set, but you don't have to sell it that way. So I guess you could say this is parting it out. Okay, I didn't even know what these were. I bid on a box of stuff on an online auction, and this was in there. At first, I thought it was were cigarettes or something. Um, my aunt used to smoke those brown cigarettes. I think they were called More, More, or something like that. That's what I thought they were. But these are hair curlers. They're Victorian style hair curlers. It's a piece of wire covered by kid leather, which is goat leather, and you would roll your hair up in them with it straight and then bend it to close the curler and twist them together and sleep in it. So I found a couple of these online. This actually has the original packaging, and I priced it at $39.97. I'm counting my cost on this as zero because I didn't even know it was in the box. So I learned something new on that one. This is a vintage 90s. I called it an ugly sweater, and also for New Year's Eve because of the black and the gold. So this was $0. It was given to me, and I have it priced at $29.97. And you know what? It's my size too. So if I still have it on New Year's Eve, I'm going to wear it. Okay, vintage Standard Oil thermometer. I paid $20 for this at an estate sale, and the reason I paid up for it was it's got the Standard Oil logo on it, which, if you're a historian, you know that's John D. Rockefeller's company that he started, the giant oil conglomeration. And it also has a couple of towns, Fisher, Illinois, and Rantoul, Illinois. People collect these. So sometimes it doesn't matter what it says on it. they just collect thermometers. So I paid 20 for this, and I have it up for $60. There was another one in better condition, and it just said Standard Oil. I also paid 20 for that, and it already sold. Who knows how long this one will take, but hopefully that's a quick flip. Here is a Brooks Brothers cashmere blend coat. Gorgeous double-breasted coat with the silver buttons. The lining is in immaculate condition, which when you're buying anything with a lining, turn it inside out and look at it, because there could be stains or discoloration on the underarms or rips in the lining. It doesn't mean you can't sell it, but you just need to know it's there before you pay for it. So this was $3, and I have it up for sale at $99.97. This was maybe my most fun find of the month. I found these 3 American Girl dolls at a thrift store for $3 each, and this is one of those stories like what you put out there you get back. Because I've been watching all you people out there that sell the American Girl doll clothing and the dolls and the accessories, and I was thinking one day, I need to get in on that. I need to learn that. That's something I don't even look at. And the very next day, I was in a thrift store, and these 3 dolls were laying right there like they had just been put out. Immaculate condition, like the hair's not cut off, there's no writing on them, it doesn't look like a dog tried to chew their foot off. And I had so much fun combing their hair and making sure their outfits looked nice, and I had so much fun photographing these and listing them. So I feel like this just dropped into my experience on purpose, because I'm going to look for these from now on, because I really enjoyed working with them and I just think they're pretty. Okay, shout out to all you Packers fans. I found this Green Bay Packers, what I'm calling ugly Christmas sweater, at a thrift store for $3. And I thought, what the heck is this doing down here in the South? Anyway, I priced it at $29.97. I've had a bunch of low offers, but I'm going to hold out because I know how crazy Packers fans are about dressing up for their games and their tailgating and their football parties at home. So I'm going to hold out until the end of winter. And my best find, my most valuable find of the month, was this vintage 100% cashmere sweater. It's this loud argyle pattern, and it is thick 2-ply cashmere, very thick. And the brand is vintage. I did a good bit of research on this. When I say that, I mean 10 or 15 minutes. And these sell for right around $200. My cost was $3.18. Okay, and I'm going to end with a profound quote. After a really tough year, that is what happened in November, and I feel like a phoenix rising from the ashes. I love this quote. Yes, you will rise from the ashes, but the burning comes first. For this part, darling, you must be brave. So yes, I am feeling stronger and braver and so much wiser than I did a year ago. And thank you all for following my journey, and most of all for your support and caring about me. I really appreciate you. Okay, we've made it to the end. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next month with another fantastic and fabulous sales update video. Keep working hard. See you again soon. Bye for now.